All right, welcome back. We are going to be diving into a few stories. We're live with Patricia, and Tony isn't here yet. So maybe he'll jump on while we're talking. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of stories, okay? We have The View essentially having a meltdown over President Trump offering the military a gift, the 1776 gift, and they are having an absolute meltdown. And you know what? Break out the popcorn. Let's talk about it. And then we have MSNBC again pivoting to the predictable hoax. Okay, every time something great happens with Trump, the next thing they do is they break out the Epstein conversation. So they're at it again. And then we have more fake news from ABC and much, much more. We have Jasmine Crockett giving her hot take on President Trump's speech from yesterday. So let's jump right into the very first piece of footage from The View. So let's see what they have to say about President Trump's act of generosity towards our servicemen.
The one thing I'll give him credit on is this bonuses to troops. He's giving them basically $1,700.
Let's see if they get the.
Well,
I want to see
it is
them
coming
get
the
it
money
first.
coming from. He says tariff revenue. That's what I'm most intrigued to see if that's actually the case. Listen, coming off of the government shutdown,
I got to check that with Professor ChatGPT because I don't believe that.
Well, in the delay that they all had of not, they got back pay, but I mean, people need help. But all Americans need help right now.
Yeah.
And just a handout isn't the answer. Smart policies are the answer.
What he's doing is he's thinking, if I make sure that the soldiers have what they need, they'll back me in what I want. See?
Oh, bologna sausage.
Okay. So
That's bologna sausage.
I don't know, like
Bologna sausage that's at least 14 years old.
it's strange to hear them say these things because are they saying that no president has ever done this before? And are they saying that essentially the military, the US military, is up for sale? The president who gives them the most money essentially has them working for that private individual and not for the American people.
With or without the money. Those
I don't know.
soldiers look at the president as their commander in chief.
Yeah.
He overrides every general, every admiral in the military. And they will defend him because of the Constitution.
Yep.
And that's that. Whether Whoopi likes it or not, the Democrats have never been kind to the military. They have caused strife. They caused, during the Vietnam era, people to actually attack soldiers for what Congress was doing. And I said, they've never been kind to the military. Never. They send them out to war without the adequate equipment they needed. They put them in situations to where they get blowed up, like at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You don't pull your military out before you get your people out. You just don't do that. But he did it. Biden did it. And then the Democrats all defended him on how great of a pullout that was. Ignoring the fact that it cost us military lives while doing it.
Yeah.
And then him looking at his watch as they're unloading the bodies.
That image should have received widespread outrage, but of course the left-wing media just glossed over it like it was nothing. You know?
That was
They accuse President Trump of things that they themselves are doing. they accuse him of their attitude towards the American people and towards the military. And they think that everyone is blind to it.
The worst military debacle, though, was not Biden. It was Obama. And I'll tell you why. Benghazi.
Oh.
When Hillary Clinton came out and said she was the one that gave the order to stand down, she lied. She could never, ever give that order because she was never the commander-in-chief.
Yeah.
Obama gave the order and made Hillary take the fall.
And
anybody who knows military rank knows that the military is not going to take an order from the Secretary of State.
That's true.
They're not. And the only way that anyone could have gave those people a stand-down order and told them not to respond to Benghazi was Obama. And nobody would say it. When it was going on, nobody would say it because they were all scared of saying something about the first black president.
Well, time is our friend, but sadly, the damage has already been done.
Yeah.
You know, because when all of that was happening, I'm sure that there were people calling it out, but back then we didn't have the ability to have these kinds of conversations and have tens, hundreds, thousands, millions of people listening to independent creators talking about these stories and making it such that things like this, for example, let's say CNN had someone who was ex-military on their show talking about the issue with the Benghazi situation. They would never say what you said because they were called to run cover for the Obama administration. And of course, there must be a sweet deal for them if they do something or say something favorable to the Obama administration. And when you said that Hillary essentially took the fall for Barack, I assume that was where the deal was struck, that if she did that, then she would be able to run for office and he would endorse her. So I guess that could have been when that deal was struck. Because usually it's the vice president who gets the endorsement, but they skipped over Joe Biden and then endorsed her. So that could have been when that deal was struck. Now, if you're watching, please leave your comments in the chat. We're going to be reading out your comments and responding to your comments. So The View, essentially, Whoopi Goldberg believes that President Trump is trying to bribe the military to side with him. They want this narrative that President Trump doesn't want to leave office, that he's a tyrant, he's a dictator, he needs the military. They want it to seem like this is the old Roman Empire where the Caesar needs to have the military on his side, and if the Senate doesn't want to do what he wants, he basically gives the order and the military surrounds Rome. You know, like that is the impression that they want to give, and nothing could be further from the truth than what these ladies, these entertainers, they are simply actors saying lines that they've been given by the Democrat Party.
They
think
it will create fear. You know.
Yeah, they wanted to create fear. Yeah, they wanted to create fear and drive people to vote a certain way. It's insane, but it's the truth. That's what they want. So next, let's talk about TDSBC. All right. They've earned the name TDSBC, even though they've changed the name of the network to MS Now. All right. It's TDSBC from now. Oops. It's TDSBC from now on, as far as I'm concerned. And they are making their usual claim that Donald Trump is Epstein's best friend. So let's skip on over and listen to their insane take on the new hoax that they're trying to push. At this point, we all know what's going on, and we essentially don't care, but we just want to point and laugh at these clowns while they continue to make a fool of themselves live on air. Let's have a listen.
Today, new reporting from the New York Times reveals never-before-seen details about the relationship between President Trump and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The deeply sourced story details just how close Epstein and Trump were and what brought them together. It's in direct contrast to a Trump lawyer's claims that the future president and Epstein did not socialize together and were never really friends. Joining me now, the man behind that story, New York Times political and investigative reporter Nicholas Confessore. Nick, I want you to take us inside this reporting. How close were they really?
I think they were as close as any other friends that they had. And I think that Jeffrey Epstein thought he was Donald Trump's closest friend for a period.
I think.
They spent a lot of time talking on the phone about women and sexual conquests. They spent time at Trump Tower or over at Jeffrey Epstein's offices nearby on Madison Avenue.
You know, when the lawsuits start flying, okay, I know that these clowns are going to stand up and try to claim that it's either an attack on their First Amendment rights or that it is beneath a president to sue someone because they said something he didn't like. This is libel.
You know,
this is libel.
Something about the picture they're showing.
Yeah, go on.
That is a very young Donald Trump.
Yep.
That is a very old Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
They have spliced a picture. They sure have. They've spliced a picture.
Well, this picture, it looks it, but no one has come out to say that this is a spliced picture. I haven't seen anyone say so, but I mean, it could be.
The difference in the age on those two men.
Yeah, yeah.
When he's as old as Epstein. If not, maybe a little older. And this is a very young Donald Trump.
Well, this is one of their favorite pictures. So let's listen to more of the stupidity, and then we'll have a conversation around what they think. All right, because the guy says, "I think they did this. I think they did that," but they're reporting it as news and as fact.
Yeah, you can tell it's spliced by looking down.
They partied together a lot. And a lot of parties with women, people who are younger than they are. And I think what brought them together was women and sexual conquest.
Now, we should say that there's no indication. We have no proof that Donald Trump did anything that was criminal or related.
That is the caveat. All right? That's the plausible deniability. These people bring this charlatan on their station to give oxygen to his stupidity. And then while he's talking, she's responsible for saying or to say, we're distancing ourselves from what you just said, even though we're giving you our airspace, our airtime to say all of these things and to smear the sitting president. This is madness. Hang on.
However, about anything.
They don't have any proof.
It's all he has said is, I think.
Yeah, I think. And then when he gets sued, they say it's someone, a sitting president is attacking a private citizen and attacking his First Amendment rights. It's never been seen before. Ooh. It's insane.
Ghislaine Maxwell in prison. Having said that, you actually spoke to a former assistant of Epstein's. And I thought, well, how do we know all of this? Because you get into some pretty specific details. He actually let assistants listen in on the phone calls with Donald Trump?
Yeah, it was a power play. So we spoke to several former assistants and employees of Jeffrey Epstein's, and he had a habit of putting Donald Trump and other famous friends on the phone. It was partly power play and partly a way that he groomed people. See how powerful I am. I can put this person on the phone. I can get them on the phone. I can put them on speaker. We're friends. That's how powerful I am. It was a way.
How come they haven't said anything about Bill Clinton? They always talk about how close President Trump and Epstein
went
were.
all the way to the island several times.
Exactly. So President Trump is named. Oh, President Trump was on the phone and other powerful people. Who are the powerful people? You know, look, as long as you don't name anyone else, okay, and your entire focus is President Trump, and whenever you are referring to other people, and you're just saying other people, other powerful people, look, all of you are full of it, okay? We know what you're trying to do, and it is just a bunch of hogwash. It's nonsense, and most of this, okay, I would love to see President Trump's legal team sue each and every one of these people into the ground, okay? Sue every single one of them. Because if you don't have the facts, and all you're doing is smearing President Trump, I think you deserve to be sued.
There's the problem. This guy is a New York Times political and investigative reporter. The hell, the liars at the top of the newsfeed.
Oh, geez.
Who could ever trust the New York Times?
Oh, they think we do. And if we don't, we're crazy if we don't.
I doubt if Trump spoke
and
to Epstein 10 times during the whole time he knew of the man.
Yeah. Well, let's keep listening.
In response to your question,
why are they obsessed about President Trump talking about sex with Epstein? Okay, now, Canary King would always remind me that there was a show that President Trump was on in the 90s with, I see his face, but gosh, what's his name now?
Yeah, the one that they did some off-camera talking between the two of them, and that recorded it.
No, not that one. It was a show. Gosh, I've forgotten the show. There was a show that he was on, and on the show he was basically not graphically describing his exploits with women, but he was basically talking about the women he had dated and places that they'd gone and stuff like that. So he's open about his association with women. He's open about his divorces and so on. So they're making this sound like
look at the Oprah interview. He talked about, she called him one of the most sought after bachelors in New York.
Yeah. And at the time it was appealing. It's like, yeah, like you could have any woman you want, and yet you're the most sought after bachelor, and everyone was celebrating that you know, it was so wonderful. And today they want to pretend
about running for president at that time.
Yeah.
And
well, I tried doing a reaction of that interview, and the Oprah Winfrey channel gave me they basically struck my channel. So I said, okay, I'm never going to put that out there. They did a copyright claim, not a strike, but a claim on the video. All right, so the video is almost over. Let's be done with this.
Which is not worth the paper it's printed on. Just another stale regurgitation of decades-old false allegations, adding that President Trump did nothing wrong and he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago for being a creep. In fact, again, Trump has never been implicated in this wrongdoing.
So that's TDSBC's way of shielding themselves from a multi-million, or at this point, since Trump has a taste for billions, multi-billion-dollar lawsuits against them. Okay, I think that this is a bunch of nonsense.
That was covered by an own.
Yeah. Now, that was TDSBC. Okay, we've covered that. ABC News is essentially trying to frame President Trump's speech from last night as being defensive. I'm glad that we played the entire speech during this afternoon's segment, and we went through it. And essentially, he was listing out his achievements. So, since when did listing out your achievements become being defensive? So here's what they said. They said, fake news from ABC's Jonathan Call about never having heard a primetime presidential address that was as defensive and hyper-partisan as Trump's speech last night. I don't know if they listened to the same speech. Okay? So let's hear what these jokers have to say.
Stephanopoulos worked under Clinton.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes.
This is not the typical presidential speech that merits primetime attention.
Look, George, when the President of the United States asks for primetime network airtime to address the nation, it is usually either to make a statement about a national crisis, to announce a major new initiative, or to speak on an issue of war and peace. This was none of that. In fact, I cannot recall a primetime presidential address that was as defensive and hyper-partisan as this one. By my count, President Trump mentioned Joe Biden and the Democrats 15 times over the course of that 20-minute address. And as he made those partisan attacks, this speech was littered with false statements and exaggerations. He claimed prices were coming down from record highs when he took office. And as you know, according to his own government's economic data, the inflation rate today is almost exactly what it was when Joe Biden left office in January.
So that is
like to know what that guy was when I was going in a grocery store to buy a dozen eggs and they were $6.
He doesn't go to the grocery store. These guys send cooks or chefs. They have assistants to do all that. They never go to the grocery stores. Okay, so these people are so detached from reality, and all they do is read the script that's in front of them on the teleprompter. They don't know what's going on.
And tell you why eggs went to $6 a dozen, because Biden killed all the chickens.
No, well, they'll say that that's fake news. That's a conspiracy theory.
Oh, there's records of it. The FDA and the EPA had to give a log because they use gunshots to kill the chickens.
Gunshots.
Thousands of them. So, yeah, they got to tell the government where their bullets went. 1 chicken, 2 chicken, 3 chicken, 4.
Well, as far as they're concerned,
can you imagine
a president,
being a farmer and having your entire livestock wiped out by the federal government on an assumption?
They don't care. They don't care. It's all about the narrative that they want to push.
It just amazes me the levels of lies they will go to.
Oh, what amazes me is how gullible their audience is. Just go on Google and do a search. Go on X and fact check some of these things.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. It's very frustrating to see how many lies they tell and how difficult it is for the people who want the lies to be true to just bend over backwards as much as they can to believe the lies and try to make it true, and they keep repeating it. All right, these lies have been fact checked again and again, and they just don't want to do their own research to make sure that these things are true. They just go ahead and parrot the same talking points. Now we're going to be diving into more insanity with Jasmine Crockett. She is essentially giving her reaction on President Trump's speech. ABC says that he was being hyper-polarizing or hyper-partisan because he was giving the country good news. You
heard him mention that these are normally for when there's an announcement of war.
Yeah.
He said it.
So in other words, how dare you use prime time to give us good news?
Yes. Instead of
good
telling
news,
us we're going to war with Venezuela.
Yeah. Yeah. We blew our prime time slot on good news. Who does that? These guys have taken the masks off. They're showing us who they are. All right. And when they tell you who they are, believe them. Okay. All they want is bad news. Okay. They want bad news about President Trump. And that's basically why during the Biden administration, they had tons of bad news. But the only bad news they were permitted to tell was how MAGA and President Trump were a threat to democracy. Yeah. Where was the outrage when Biden was giving his speech with a red background that looked like he was the emperor from Star Wars? Yeah? Yeah. And then he spent most of his speeches talking about how Trump and MAGA were the threat to democracy. Where were they when that was happening? What did they say? Oh no, that was such an inspiring speech. He showed strength. That and everyone who says that he's in mental decline just saw a strong leader. That's what they said.
They think that all Americans are a bunch of chumps that will believe anything and follow anybody, and that they're such great at doing this that you have to believe them.
Yeah.
Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe us.
Believe us, because you're too stupid to figure things out. So here's Jasmine Crockett giving us her wisdom. Okay, your brain cells are going to increase when you hear what she has to say. You will get smarter. Your IQ points will go up when you hear her take on President Trump's speech.
The president is blaming President Biden for today's problems. Is there any truth to that?
There's no truth. And the American people are done with the con man. I mean, as he stood up today in front of the American people, he sounded like a used car salesman. Like, let me just shout it out. Buy what I'm selling. Yes, this is a lemon. Yes, he is selling nothing but lemons. Right now, I don't think that this really should come down to right or left, as I've been saying over and over. This is about right and wrong. And so if people have questions, just go ahead and call your insurance provider and ask them, what are my insurance premiums going to be? You don't have to go and listen to what the Democrats are telling you. You don't have to listen to what the president is telling you. You can find out for yourself what those premiums are going to be without these subsidies.
But he is suggesting that the split screen is as follows. Everything was horrible under Biden. He called the country dead a year ago, and now he has made everything better. The polls suggest that the American public do not buy it, including Republicans. Why do you think he is putting forth the message that everything is awesome?
He's going to do that because lying has worked for him in the past. And right now, that is what he's trying to do. He is trying to lie his way through. And the only thing that he cares about is making it through these midterms. He is so nervous. That is why they are cheating and going from state to state to state, trying to redistrict. As you heard the speaker saying, no, I haven't lost control of the House. I just have this really slim majority. Well, guess what? The last time that Donald Trump was in and had to go through a midterm, it didn't turn out really well for him. He lost a lot of seats. And right now, no matter how much tricking they do, we are going to win the House.
All right. So before you respond to her,
She lost her accent.
She what?
She's lost her accent.
Oh no, she's running for Senate now.
Oh, so she has to change her accent.
Exactly. She's running for Senate, and with a Senate run, you're not just pandering to the hoodlums, you're now pandering to the people who are essentially the gatekeepers of the Senate. So you have to look the part and sound the part now. Oh, jeez. You know, it's entertaining to watch, and I'm sure that that her look.
The ghetto girl has gotten polished.
Oh yeah, she has.
Yes,
she has. Now she said something about President Trump selling a lie about the increased premiums, and that all you have to do is call your insurance broker to ask them what your new premiums are. Here's a video of someone who's done that, and she's, I haven't played this video before, so I'm watching this along with every one of you. So here's what this lady has to say. She's essentially telling people what her experience is with finding out what the new premium was. She essentially says her premiums have gone up more than 250%. Tell mom. Okay, tell Marcus, okay? I'm working right now, okay? This is such a professional live stream that my son tells the whole world that he wants to use the potty. Marcus, just handle that. Okay, guys, you guys have been made aware of my son's bowel movements.
I'm 63 years old, so I'm 2 years shy of my Medicare insurance. I'm a single mom. I have a 20-year-old daughter in college. So ACA is really important to me. I have a family history of heart disease. So therefore, I need to be able to go to the doctor, at least for a checkup and a complete blood count at least once a year. So I really rely on ACA. Before ACA came about, I spent 25 years without insurance. I could never keep a 9-to-5 job because I had to take care of my parents and a brother that was paralyzed. And in that process, I became a mother. So I had 4 people relying on me. There's no way I could work from 9 to 5, heading to the emergency rooms at midnight, at 2 o'clock in the morning, not sleeping because of a mother with dementia that's up all night. So therefore, I'm one of the individuals that really needed ACA. So
keep going.
So now I get to go to the hospital, but with the cost of living in Miami-Dade County, which is extremely high, and the cost of food, and the other day I went online to check to see what my premium would be. It went up more than 250%. Wow.
Okay.
So now I have to decide food or my premium.
So who do you think she's trying to blame for her premiums going up 250%?
By Trump, of course. She's in Dade County, Miami, Florida.
Yeah. It's really interesting to watch the shell game that the Democrats play, and the conclusions that Democrat voters reach whenever the consequences of Democrat policies slap them in the face. And then instead of blaming the party that caused it, they flip around and try to blame the people who had nothing to do with it. Okay? Get slapped by the devil, blame your brother. I mean, it's just weird, It's weird. And
if somebody wants to complain about having to pay a premium, ask a VA veteran that uses VA medical, that VA does not accept insurance.
Really?
They don't accept Medicare. And yet my medical care is 100% through the VA. And I have to pay Medicare every month to carry an insurance that I never use.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't use it to get medication. I don't use it to get medical tests. I don't use it for emergency rooms. I don't use it for hospital stays. I use Medicare for absolutely zilch. No, I take it back. I got an $80 pair of eyeglasses off of them in the past 4 years. But yet I am,
and that's it.
$100 and some dollars a month for Medicare. And they've never paid out anything except the $80 for the eyeglasses. So that's what's nuts.
All right. Now, if you're watching, okay, don't just watch and be, quiet about what we're talking about. Let's know your thoughts in the chat. Okay. We're simply covering what's in the news. Okay. We're looking at all of the reactions from President Trump's speech. And essentially, in spite of all the good news that he's given to the American people, he's the bad guy for daring to bring good news to the American people. He's either trying to bribe the army or the military, or he's talking like a used car salesman, or after giving you all this good news, they try to remind you that, oh, Epstein still exists. Okay, after all this good news he's given you, oh, do you remember Epstein? Yeah, here's what we think with no proof. Okay, so let's know what you think about all of the stuff that we've covered so far. All right, next up, we're going to be rolling in the dirt with Brooklyn Barack. So Brooklyn Barack is upset. He's upset that the board of the Kennedy Center would dare tarnish the good name of the center by making it the Trump Kennedy Center. They voted and they decided that they were going to immortalize the name Trump and tarnish the good name of the. Look, I think Hakeem Jeffries needs a job, because if he's left taking care of his constituents and he's bothering with what other people are doing on the job, he has something. He's basically he doesn't have anything doing. So let's listen to him, and you let me know if he's well within his rights to be outraged about this. Let's have a listen. Okay, I'm going to let the page load. We're trying something new because usually we download all the videos and play them. We're testing something because we're prepping for when we need to do live streams, to react to live streams like we did this afternoon. So this is something we're testing. Let's listen.
So-called Kennedy Center board wants to rename the Kennedy Center after Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? Like, how does that help deal with the affordability crisis in this country?
It's not their job.
Pathetic. They are sycophants. And these are individuals right now who are bending the knee to a loser. The Republicans are losers. Why are you bending the knee at this point in time? It's not clear to you that, as Michael Ray Richardson, the great former New York Knick, once said, the ship be sinking? It's over. This is the Titanic. I don't get it. I really don't understand the situation.
Okay, read a book, Brooklyn Barack. If you don't understand, go read a book. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Crybaby Jeffries.
So his problem is that the board of the Kennedy Center decides to honor President Trump by renaming the center the Trump Kennedy Center. And they made that decision. They voted. And he's asking them how that affects affordability. That's not their job.
No. And I think Jeffries forgot who is in Trump's administration.
Exactly. A Kennedy.
He's got a Kennedy in there.
Look,
so
they have nothing to run on. So essentially, they're doing exactly what they did that lost them the 2024 election, which is Trump bad. Trump did something wrong. Hold on, Tony is calling. He's calling my phone. Hold on. Let me. Oh, geez. Tony, are you done?
Hello.
Yeah, Tony.
How you doing?
I'm good.
All right. Sorry, man, I'm on the phone. Oh, fire.
All right. So if you're coming on, okay, just join the link because we're talking about Hakeem Jeffries.
Fuck. Fucking hell, man. I know this stuff.
the crybaby of DC.
That's what I got. That's the first name I hear.
He's having a meltdown.
I'm not ready, bro. I'm ready for that one.
Oh well, no, you missed a good one. Okay, so just hop on the panel, and then we'll give you the other side of the story because we're about to go into a second Hakeem Jeffries video. You're gonna love this one.
Just go put a shirt on. Got the phone of mum. Oh, fucking Hakeem Jeffries. If I had Hakeem Jeffries right there, if he's standing there in front of me, man, you know what I'll do? I'll slap his face like real hard. Like slap his face. And he'll probably cry like a girl.
Maybe.
Like a girl.
Maybe.
And then when you get punched in the face when you're a dude, that's a man thing. But if you get slapped, what a disrespect. Like this, you're a girl. You don't want to be slapped in the face by a man.
All right. All right. So bring that energy to the live stream. We're waiting on you because we're about to jump over to the next one. And you have to make it for the next one. You'll love it. All right.
What do I do?
Same as always. Same as always.
Okay.
Hit the link.
Yeah. All right. So, so Hakeem Jeffries again says he's attacked the Kennedy Center, and he decided that he also wants to chime in about Obamacare. So let's listen to what he has to say about this. He's being interviewed, and he's being asked about Obamacare. So let's hear his infinite wisdom and give our thoughts on that. 1 second. Let's
simply having an income cap for these subsidies.
We have a bipartisan coalition right now that supports in the House of Representatives, that's every single House Democrat and at least 4 House Republicans, supports a straightforward extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Time has run out. Republicans have had all year to deal with this issue and have chosen not to do it. They were focused on passing their one big ugly bill, which they enacted with great urgency months ago. The largest cut to Medicaid in American history, the largest cut to nutritional assistance in American history. They literally ripped $186 billion away from SNAP. That's food from hungry children, hungry veterans, and hungry seniors. And why did they do all of that?
Okay, so we need to keep correcting this because Hakeem Jeffries is running a script. He says to everyone, they are ripping healthcare from seniors. They are doing this and the other. They are ripping food from the mouths of hungry kids. The one big beautiful bill only included work requirements. And due to those work requirements, you don't need as much money to service these subsidies anymore. Because once you begin to enforce the work requirements, certain groups of people will no longer qualify for the subsidies, which means that the government spends less sponsoring these subsidies. Patricia?
Here's what Jeffries really means. How dare you? How dare you make our poor people earn a living wage? How dare you get them to be independent from the government telling these single moms that you cannot raise your children on your own, that you aren't smart enough to take care of them by yourself. How dare you?
It's insane.
How dare you get rid of our poverty? Who are we going to tell that the Republicans are going to take their food stamps away from them in the next election?
Yeah, he's really upset. He's really upset about that. You know, it's as if whenever something good happens for the American people, these Democrats get upset. You know, they just get upset. So Tony is here. Tony, your favorite person in U.S. politics is on the screen, and
my favorite person.
Yeah.
my fucking favorite. My favorite one. Oh my god. Oh yeah, I totally love this one. Fucking this guy.
All right, so let's hear what he has. So let's finish up his video, and then you'll chime in.
Massive tax breaks that they made permanent for their billionaire donors, and
shut up.
That's food from hungry children, hungry veterans, and hungry seniors. And why did they do all of that? So they can enact massive tax breaks that they made permanent for their billionaire donors and skyrocketed the debt by over $3 trillion. And now, at the 11th hour, time has run out, and we've got the votes to pass a straightforward extension.
You haven't got the votes, you liar. Shut up.
Mike Johnson needs to make sure we vote on this legislation
Shut
today.
your fat mouth.
The House should not recess or adjourn until this issue has been dealt with.
Yeah, so Patricia, Tony, what do you think about his outrage?
Well, I know one thing. They're not feeding They ain't been to my house and brought me any damn bird food.
Mm-hmm.
This is a special place for Jeff, this guy. There's a special place for this guy in my head, man. You need like a kind of mental gymnastics workout to get there, so you can get there and just for people, you know. Jesus, like I don't want to harm people or all that kind of stuff, but this is a special place for people like this. I can't stand his lies; they're the worst.
I have a real
God, I don't know why it runs me like this, man.
I have
Hello, everybody. Sorry. God, I just woke up.
Yeah, your video is frozen. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, your video is frozen. So you need to wake up your phone as well or your laptop. All right. So Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat Party, everyone is upset about the good news that President Trump has given. They're upset that President Trump is trying to reform healthcare because they want to pass an ACA extension. You know, that extension that they all refused to pass during the shutdown, where the Republicans said, come, let's write in the extension of this ACA before we continue with your shutdown and figure out what you guys want. They said, no, we don't care about that. Now they want to extend the ACA for 3 years. The strategy is...
The extension that they're wanting to extend was the one they put in place.
Yes.
Under Biden when COVID was going on.
Yeah.
It's not actual ACA. It's a special addition
provision
added to it.
Yeah. Which removed things like work requirements and earning. Like it allowed people who shouldn't be on those subsidies to jump on those subsidies.
You don't like Jeffries either, do you, baby girl? One gap here. On Lulu. You do. Come on.
All right. So, where were we? Okay. So we've talked about all that insanity, but there's more insanity in the works. Okay. We have the Hamtramck City Council that just voted to allow animal sacrifice for religious purposes. Okay. Hold on. I think just give me a second. Okay. What do you guys think about? Okay, hold on. Let's play this video. I think Tony stepped out. Okay, he needs to get his laptop on. So this is a strange live stream for him. Okay, so they voted to allow animal sacrifice. Let's listen to this report. Oh, is it playing? It's not. What's happening with the audio? Oh, okay, hold on. Let's refresh the page and try again. Let's see if this works. Oh no.
Lulu, are you upset? Lulu, are you upset? I know, Jeffries upsets everybody.
Let's see if this works. Oh, so this video doesn't have audio for some reason. Doesn't have any audio for some reason. So this community decides that they want to allow animal sacrifice. I wish we could hear the audio from this report. Okay, so you have essentially people from the third world wanting to be allowed to conduct animal sacrifice. During the presidential campaign from 2024, we heard about a certain community that were eating the cats and dogs and all the ducks in ponds and so on. And Democrats said that never happened. So now why are they passing it into law that it's okay to conduct animal sacrifice?
Oh, this is going to get a bunch of animal rights people up in arms.
Do you think they really care?
I don't know. It's got me up in arms. They ought not be sacrificing animals for something like this.
Well, that's Michigan. So they've essentially converted Dearborn into an Islamic sanctuary.
That Islamist group up there in Dearborn that's wanting to do this. That figures.
Well, this is Hamtramck, so it's a different city. So you have Dearborn doing their thing, and then you have Hamtramck, okay, wanting to institute animal sacrifice as being allowed. Okay, it's okay to offer sacrifices now.
Where's Hamtramck?
It's in Michigan.
Oh, good Lord.
All right, so
they're just losing their minds every time they turn around.
Well, Tony has dropped off. I would have loved to hear his take on this, because why is this the most important thing for your city? Why is animal sacrifice? So here's the comments, okay? I love looking at the comment sections. So this is a user called Mary Ross. She says, animal sacrifice in America? How can any of this be acceptable, allowed, and legal? It is acceptable, allowed, and legal because you guys in Hamtramck voted in a bunch of idiots who allow this sort of insanity. Okay? There are no examples in history of Islam assimilating into other cultures. Well, I don't know if this is. We didn't listen to the audio to tell if this is an Islamic thing or not. We did see some people look like they're Muslims based on the beard culture that they have, but I don't know. Adriana Manzoni says, "Where's Peter?"
Yeah, you won't catch Peter.
All right, so
10 miles of this.
Yeah, where's Peter? You won't catch Peter. Yeah, because this is a conversation happening about a protected class, a protected community. Nobody wants to be called a racist for telling these people from the third world they can't sacrifice your cats or your dogs or your goats or sheep in public.
We won't let them near Lulu.
Yeah. Look, exactly what we said earlier. Wait, are they killing the cats? Are they killing the dogs? The thing they said wasn't happening. Now they're voting to make it legal. Let's say, did he say she was with CARE Michigan? Isn't CARE now linked to the Muslim Brotherhood, which is designated as a terrorist organization?
Yes.
The Muslim Brotherhood was designated a terrorist organization. I don't remember seeing anything about CARE, but it should be as well. Another statement about Peter. How come Peter doesn't care about this? I think they're going to speak out about Islamic practice. Do you think they're going to speak out about Islamic practices? They won't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Look, this is the hypocrisy that we keep calling out again and again and again and again and again. They will never speak up against the Muslims. It's just weird. It's just weird. All right, so let's move on to the next story very quickly. The officials in Columbus, Ohio.
Furbies.
Huh?
Are they going to sacrifice the Furbies?
Maybe. I think everything is fair game now.
The people who think they're an animal?
Well. Well.
They run around those animal costumes.
Well, let's pivot to this other story. Look, all you need to do is go on your feed, and there's just stupid after stupid after stupid after stupid after stupid. It's just a stupid reel. Columbus, Ohio officials just declared open war on ICE. The Democrat mayor, Andrew Ginther, and police chief Elaine Bryant openly vowed their city and police will not cooperate with ICE. So let's listen to these two clowns essentially tell criminal illegals that they're welcome here. All right, I'm definitely having audio issues now with the feed. So hold on, let me fix this. Give me one moment to fix this.
He'll fix it.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
I will. All right.
You're being so cute tonight. You know that, don't you?
I will.
Tell the audience about they shouldn't sacrifice cats.
No, you don't sacrifice cats. That is not allowed. That is not allowed. It is wrong to do so. It is wrong to do so. In this day and age, people actually believe that it is okay to offer sacrifice. You know, it doesn't make any sense. But do you know what? They believe that it's totally fine. They believe it's totally fine. All right. I'm going to play the video the good old-fashioned way. Let's see if this works.
I'm Mayor Andy Ginther.
And I'm Police Chief Elaine Bryant.
In light of the deployment of federal immigration and customs enforcement agents in our city, we understand that many of our neighbors may feel concerned for their safety. Please know that we stand with you and everyone who calls Columbus home. Since 2017, I've been clear that the City of Columbus resources will not be used to help federal deportation efforts or investigations based solely on immigration status.
That includes.
So if the federal government decides that since you're deciding to withhold state resources or city resources from the federal government, shouldn't the federal government be within its rights to withhold federal resources from these cities?
Most definitely.
You know?
If they're going to make it hard for a federal law to be carried out in their city, they have no right to federal monies.
Yeah.
Period.
I totally agree.
The officers and resources of Columbus Police. Please know that CPD will not investigate Columbus residents solely based on immigration status. We will only investigate or apprehend someone if there is evidence of a crime. We cannot prevent ICE from being here, but if there is illegal or dangerous conduct, CPD officers will be present to maintain public safety.
This is.
I've got a problem with Columbus on this.
Yeah.
Because they have a school there called DeVry. It's a technical school.
Okay.
It's in downtown Columbus. My oldest daughter wanted to go to school there. And she said, "Don't worry, Mom. They have an armed guard that escort us to the bus stops." And I said, "No, you will not attend that school. That is the place in Columbus of drive-by shootings. Columbus is not a place where you would want your child going to college.
Okay.
Because your child would more than likely end up a victim of a drive-by shooting. So
interesting.
You know, she's talking about safety of the community. They don't keep their own people safe.
Yep.
Every Columbus resident should continue to feel safe to call CPD and 911.
It's important that you know your rights and ways to keep yourself and your family safe. First, carry identification or documentation of your status with you. Stay calm and truthful when interacting with law enforcement. Know that you have the right to remain silent. Do not obstruct federal operations. Also, know that you do not have to allow immigration agents onto private property unless they can show you a warrant from a judge. Memorize the phone number of someone you can call if you need help. And know how to contact legal aid, Community Refugee and Immigration Services, and Columbus Police. We're committed to ensuring the safety and belonging of every Columbus resident, regardless of where you were born. Go to Columbus.
All right, so so the city of Columbus is essentially letting the world know that they will not comply with federal immigration law.
All this, it drives me nuts to hear them say warrant. There is no warrant to go along with the order of removal given out by a judge saying remove them from the country.
Yeah.
That order of removal is not a warrant. So they keep harping on this warrant thing. You issue a warrant to pick up a suspect that's committed a heinous crime. You do not issue a warrant for an illegal alien being told, remove yourself.
Yeah.
You've got 30 days to get out of the country. If you don't go, we'll send our enforcement after you.
Yeah.
So the order of removal comes out. 30 days later, ICE is going to have to hunt them down. And these idiots are saying, oh, they don't have a warrant. And you don't have to speak to them. There is no speak to them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what those illegal aliens say when they're picked up, they're still going to be deported.
Yep. Now, the sanctuary city of Fairfax County, Virginia, ignored another ICE detainer, and the illegal alien was released back into the community and then committed cold-blooded murder. So here's the report. Because whenever you have these buffoons come up to say everyone is welcome, and they do things that put their communities at risk and get away with it, you know, they're just being lucky. But here's one incident or one situation where luck ran out. Right, the video is loading. What's going on? Okay, there it is.
ICE is telling us not only
Yeah, I need new gear. Seriously, I'm just like it's just frozen. Okay, don't worry. We'll play the video. I just need to unfreeze this, and then we'll get the video going. Just 1 second. Ugh. This is embarrassing. Yeah, this is what live streaming is like. You're trying to get stuff done and then things just freeze.
On him that was not honored. In addition, it turns out he's been charged with multiple crimes in the past, including murder, seemingly with no consequences. Police spent a long time investigating at the home where this happened on Wednesday afternoon, and there are a lot of questions about why the crime was ever allowed to happen and why the suspect was free.
This is very shocking, that this happened in a neighborhood that's supposed to be safe.
Brian Del Cid lives very close to the home where the homicide happened. He says what's also shocking is that suspected shooter Marvin Morales Ortez had just been released from jail less than 24 hours before allegedly using this gun to shoot and kill a man.
It is very upsetting that he literally just got out yesterday.
Police remained on the scene investigating Wednesday night. The crime happened inside this home on Fanshell Court in Reston. Until Tuesday, Morales Ortez had been in jail facing charges for allegedly brandishing a gun and assaulting and injuring someone. He was released when the Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office decided to drop the case. They told us in a statement, prosecutors were unable to move forward with the case because the victim told police that they were out of the country and would not be coming to court to cooperate in proceedings. Sadly, without the victim's necessary testimony, we could not move forward with the case. But this is not the first time the County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office has chosen not to press charges against Morales Ortez. Court records indicate since 2020, he's been charged with at least 7 crimes, including first-degree murder back in 2021, and every single time but one, prosecutors at some point decided not to move forward. The one time he was found guilty for a theft, he was fined, but records show he never paid it.
Okay, so that's a disturbing situation, and we keep saying that these woke cities are releasing dangerous criminals back into the general population, and something will definitely happen. Something will happen because these people keep repeating these crimes. And today we're seeing this report. Like, how does this make you feel? And do you think that other cities will see this report and learn from this mistake?
No, because they've been doing this over and over and over again. Women have been killed. Men have been killed. Families has been killed on highways. Over and over again, these illegal aliens are picked up for a crime, put in jail, and then released with the smack or an ankle bracelet and turned loose. And they go out and they know that they're not going to face any consequences for any of the crimes they're doing.
Yeah.
So they do it over and over and over and over.
Exactly. So, and basically, they are being rewarded. They are being rewarded for bad behavior, and whatever you reward keeps repeating. They're going to keep doing the same thing because you're rewarding their bad behavior.
Well,
you know,
tell a bigger story than anything they can do.
All right, the battery is run down. Okay, so it's time for you to go to bed. Right? Go on, sweetie. No, not now. You need to go to bed. Okay, time to go to bed. Jamie, you have a pajama party at school tomorrow. Okay. All right, I'll fix it tomorrow when you get back from school. Shut the door. Shut the door, please. Bye. Jeez. Okay. We have several stories to go. The Australian government, as part of their reaction towards the Bondi Beach massacre, they decided that they're going to strike back against violent crime. And the way they decided to do it was to impose stricter laws against hate speech. So let's watch this report. Every time we turn around, it just seems like it's a race to the bottom. You know, they're like trying really hard to outdo the insanity of the previous day. All right, so it's just crazy that we continue to run into these kinds of stories. Sorry, I need to download this. Ooh, I thought I had. One moment, please.
In the meantime, in South Central Kentucky, we've got high winds and storms moving through.
Oh, really? We have that coming tomorrow. We have that coming tomorrow here. So we're going to be having high winds.
And it is 58 degrees outside.
Man.
We're having a heat induction in the area during the middle of the winter.
Yeah. Oh.
Plan. Firstly, the Attorney General.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. And my computers have decided that they want to poop to poop on the party. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna pause this here, hide this here, and then see if we can do this up here. I'm going to try this up here. Okay, so sorry about that. Just okay, this should be fine.
Firstly, the Attorney General and Minister for Home Affairs will develop a package of legislative reforms to crack down on those who spread hate, division and radicalisation. The National Security Committee has agreed that changes will include the following 5 points. Agreed changes will include: 1. Aggravated hate speech offence for preachers and leaders who promote violence. Secondly, increased penalties for hate speech promoting violence. Thirdly, making hate an aggravating factor in sentencing crimes for online threats and harassment. Fourthly, developing a regime for listing organisations whose leaders engage in hate speech promoting violence or racial hatred. And fifthly, developing a narrow federal offence for serious vilification based on race and or advocating racial supremacy. The Minister for Home Affairs will also have new powers to cancel or reject visas for those who spread hate and division in this country or would do so if they were allowed to come.
They're already doing that, so I don't know why they're announcing it and making such a big show of it. They're doing that already. They kick out people who have platforms that go against whatever it is they are trying to do, and then they claim that it's hate speech or something that has to do with spreading division or being polarizing. You know, they're doing that already. So why are they making a huge ceremony of repeating something that they've already been doing?
Here. The East Safety Commissioner, the Special Envoy and the Department of Communications will work together to provide online safety advice to address anti-Semitism. Over the coming days, I'll have more to say about the government's response to Sunday's atrocity, including on gun control, and I note that New South Wales is moving.
Yeah, so what do you have to say about this? You know,
hate speech. In America, it's protected as free speech.
Well, the Democrats hate that pesky thing called the First Amendment. And, you know, because they essentially need that to be amended in order to let them engage freely in censorship, because this here is censorship. He's just painting it very nicely and slipping in, well, we need to protect against anti-Semitism. If you want to protect against anti-Semitism, you know where the anti-Semites are. You know where they are. As soon as they do something, you pick them up and then you put them in jail. You put them on trial, put them in jail. Makes no sense to me, though.
No, they won't pick up the anti-Semitism Islamists. That's
No, they won't.
no.
Yeah.
They got to protect those people. Yeah, but
Else,
you're going to arrest all the rest of you all if you make a bad statement against the Muslims,
yeah.
the Islamists that shot and killed our people. You're
Oh,
not
no.
allowed to say nothing bad about them.
No, it was the guns. That was the fault of the guns. The guns made them do it. So instead of talking about the people or the people group who commit these crimes, it's the fault of the guns. All right, so for our final story, all right, maybe we'll just tie this all up in a bow with the final commentary. We have Chuck Schumer in the news because he's pounding his desk talking about how the United States blowing narco boats out of the water is wrong. It's a war crime. He's expressing his righteous indignation, but it turns out that Schumer wrote the law that made it legal, or that makes it legal, to blow up drug boats, and he did that in 1986. Let's have a listen.
This in front of me, this is the Maritime Drug Law Enforcement Act of 1986, authored by a member of Congress in 1986 from the state of New York. His name, Chuck Schumer. He wrote the law that passed almost unanimously that makes it legal to blow drug boats out of the water. It happened in the 80s a lot, in the 90s a lot. Go ahead, look it up, folks. Chuck Schumer, the author of this bill that made what we're doing with Venezuelan drug boats fully legal. We don't need permission from the rest of the world. Chuck Schumer gave us that in 1986.
Well, hallelujah, we got a law that allows us to do it.
The same thing that we just saw here is the same thing that we're seeing with ICE enforcement. ICE enforcement allows, was signed into law by the Democrats. And Tom Homan has said repeatedly, if you don't like the law, go to Congress and protest and get Congress to change it. Why is it that Congress isn't talking about changing it? Because for them to change it, they need to come face to face with the fact that it was them, the Democrats, who signed it into law.
And then broke
it. Yeah. So they have to come to terms with the fact that, yes, we signed it into law. It was our fault that all this happened. Now we want to change it. And then the question is, why do you want to change it? Because when you're deliberating these things, a lot of whys are going to come up. And eventually, it's going to be, why do you want people who broke into the country illegally, committed crime, sexual assault, violent crime, like we just saw, where people are murdered, American citizens are murdered? Why do you want to change the laws to keep these people in the country? It'll be career or political suicide for the Democrat Party to go through that process to change the law.
That's why they won't change it.
Yeah.
That's why.
So I love the fact that they're making so much noise that's causing tons of evidence to come to the fore that shows that the problem was created by them. Obamacare.
And what would they campaign about if they couldn't say that they've come for the immigrants, next they'll come for you. They're going to take your food away. They're going to take your health care away. And they won't let us build any houses for you. That's their campaign.
Yeah.
They've got to have some sort of dire end of the world thing going on for them to get elected.
Yeah. It's all about grievance politics. As long as there's something you're upset about and emotionally charged about, they let it sit and they make sure that it waits there for them till the next election cycle. They keep it going.
Yep.
They figure out a way to make sure that your you stay angry. They blame it on the Republicans. They try to make sure that you continue to hate the Republicans and conservative values. And then eventually, when it circles back to, okay, it's time to fix this permanently, they sidestep the issue to say, well, that's not really the solution that we're looking for. Look at what President Trump has said about the ACA, the Obamacare situation. He says, the best way to sort this out is give the American people access to the money and let them choose how to take care of their health care. And Hakeem Jeffries says, well, he's not serious. Interpreted as the American people are too stupid to take care of their own health care.
Yep.
You know, so all of this continues to happen and play out right before our eyes. And it's shocking that people, I would say that these are nice people who just want to be happy, but they've been hoodwinked by the Democrat Party to believe that the Republican Party is the enemy. And that's just sad, and it's so unfortunate that we're, at this point.
Oh, it breaks my heart that they get these single moms into the mindset that they've got to be on welfare to take care of their kids.
Yeah.
And here's the sad part of that. These women are going to be in their 30s when their last youngest child turns 18. When that happens, they no longer get a check from the government for their child. They no longer qualify for government housing. Their food stamps get slaughtered. And they're practically out on the street. They have no job skills, no work ethics, no ability to go out and even find a job, because most of them won't have a car to get there because they never did, or if they do got the car, they're not going to be able to put gas in it then. So these women are being hoodwinked into becoming totally lost when their last child turns 18.
Yeah.
And they've got nobody to take care of them. Nobody. And who wants to hire a 32 to 35-year-old female who has no skills, no education?
No one does.
No education, no skills, no work ethics. And I mean, I witnessed these women showing up at a college campus when they were trying to get them an education, and these women were landing in classes that you would have had to take in high school to become reading proficient and math. They couldn't do them because they didn't finish high school. They didn't have a high school diploma. And they were sent down to the community college to train them for work. And
all right.
It was a sad thing to watch.
Yeah. So,
humiliating.
Yeah. I want to read this comment, and I'm going to leave you to react to the comment. The truth is, I want to rush over to the washroom and rush back. So I just want to give you this to react to this comment. All right. It's a comment from a video that I posted a couple of days back that basically highlighted the Democrats' position on immigration and how it sounds so much like President Trump does today. And this person said, the video's content is obvious and requires no further explanation. Democrats are such a hypocrite liar that they lie and say anything to win. I can't believe American citizens still fall for the same tricks over and over again, especially Black America. For God's sake, Have some basic self-respect for a change. Stop being a fool. Democrats don't care about you. It's all about winning and remaining in power and laughing all the way to the bank. President Trump is the most straightforward and fearless leader in the world. He doesn't have to lie to win votes. That's what I like about him. The commenter is his name is Tom. So just give me your reaction to this post while I take a quick dash to the head. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Tom is 100% right.
Yeah.
He hit it square on the nail head, because the Democrats hold these fears up to people who are fearful of losing their welfare checks. They are fearful of losing their free medical care. And most of these people can tell you how much money they're allowed to make before they lose everything. And it becomes more important to them to keep the welfare than to bring themselves out of poverty. And people just keep buying into it year after year after year. You hear the same thing over and over. You won't hear what campaigns tell people in the inner city. You'll never hear them advertise what the Democrats go in there and campaign about. But you see what Trump did. He went in there and he told them the truth. He went into the neighborhoods and talked to the businesses. He didn't hide anything.
All right, I'm back. Need to get my AirPods reconnected.
But
well,
yeah.
Thanks for holding down the fort.
Yeah, the Democrats campaign on the same old sad story every time.
Yeah. Every single time.
And then the people that they campaign those things to never see any improvements in their neighborhoods or their lives. In fact, they see it just keep deteriorating.
Yeah.
And it's
and that's getting the votes. They need things to stay the way they are. You know, no improvements. Things have to keep going from bad to worse.
We got a thunderstorm a week before Christmas.
Oh. Well, tomorrow I have to figure out if there's anything in the yard that needs to be put in the woodshed or secured, because there are like 100 km/h winds passing through tomorrow night. So hopefully tomorrow night we should be able to have a live stream without losing internet. So we live stream on YouTube, our 2 YouTube channels, Rumble, Kick, and Twitch. And recently we resumed live streaming on X. And we would like you to send in your comments if you're watching after the fact. Share the video, like the video. If you're watching and you're like, well, this is almost like you're sitting in our living room and we're just looking at videos and reacting to it. Today, we chose to use a different method to pull up the videos. Usually they're snappier, so I want to apologize if it felt like the videos weren't as snappy as they could have been. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to resume the way we usually do the videos. But thank you for being a part of tonight's live stream. Tony couldn't stay till the end of the live stream. Somehow his connection got cut off and he couldn't stay till the end. So we're going to continue bringing you commentary and our thoughts on certain stories. that matter not just to people who live in the United States, but that matter to everyone across the world, because whatever happens in the United States affects everyone in the world. It affects your gas prices. It affects what they teach in the curriculum of your children's schools. It affects everything. And what we try to do is to make sense of all of the stuff happening and figure out, while we're talking about it and running our commentary, what you and I can do. Sorry, I just realized that my face wasn't appearing on the screen. I was like this disembodied voice. I just realized I wasn't on the screen. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. So while we're talking, we figure out what you and I can do to navigate the changes in society that may not make sense to us as people who have conservative values, or at least common sense values. And we figure out how we can thrive in the middle of this, but again, how we can change things because, look, there are more of us than there are of them. Okay, there are more of us than there are of them. They are simply louder. Okay, they are the loud, obnoxious minority. They want everyone to think that they're everywhere and that they control the votes. But you know what? They are only loud. They are only passionate. They want to take over. They want you to believe that there are more of them. But you'll find that they are just the 1% that are just making all the noise. They scheme. They figure out ways to ensure that they continue to be, in the face of culture. They try to make themselves the face of culture with media and technology, and it's important that we learn how to understand what's going on and how to take back culture. Culture belongs to us. We created the culture. We created the culture that allowed them to be able to have free speech, to express themselves, to have the freedoms that they took advantage of, to be able to climb up the ladder of finance, of media and entertainment. We gave them the permission to do that. Now they want to kick the rest of us out of those areas to make it seem like they created it. No, we created those things and gave them the permission to rise and to thrive. Now they want to become gatekeepers, like we see in Hollywood and in politics. So we have to spend time together talking and sharing our ideas. So we have a troll in the chat, and I will do what I do to trolls. There you go. Have fun. Yeah, have fun. Look, I don't suffer trolls. When people come in and they don't talk about the topic, they don't engage in the topic, and all they do is they just want to troll. Right. I used to be gracious and just talk to them and respond, but after a few episodes of doing that, I found that the people who want you to be tolerant aren't very tolerant.
No, they're not.
They're not. You come at them with good faith conversations. They are not interested in good faith conversations.
They don't want to hear it.
There's something that Jesus said in scriptures, and he said, "Don't cast pearls to swine. Don't give precious things to people who despise it." Good faith conversations belong in a space where good faith conversation is valued. But when good faith conversation is used as a cudgel, as a weapon against you, for example, we've gone through stories that show how left-leaning people use the Constitution or the freedoms created by the Constitution to create hellholes within the United States. They use all of those things they find the loopholes in law and order in the Constitution to create these enclaves of chaos and try to spread it to the rest of the country. They take advantage of your generosity and goodwill to do that. They take advantage of the things that you've built to use them against you. So when I try very hard to have good faith conversations with people, and I realize that this is not a good faith conversation. They're trying to use my posture as a decent person against me and against my audience. I don't have time for that.
Thank you.
You know, I don't, just hit the road. I don't care. Okay, you can go somewhere else and talk about how this channel claims to be an open channel and how they value free speech. Go do that somewhere else. Go spew your TDS somewhere else. We want to have people that have great conversations here, and we want to be able to engage in that. I have a chat. Someone just dropped in and said hi. I don't know if he's still there. He's on Twitch, right? This is a chat from Twitch, and I'm just going to say hi back. So hi. Thank you for watching from on Twitch. Thank you for hanging around. If you have questions or you have contributions about the stories that we've covered, give your thoughts on what you think on the stories. Give your reaction. Agree or disagree with what we have to say. Let's have good faith conversations. But if you behave like the joker that I just booted out of the chat, you get booted out too. Okay, I am putting on my grandpa pants. You can see the gray hair. Like I'm a young grandpa type. Okay, I'm a young grandpa type. I'm pushing 50. And Patricia is. We're not here to play games. So if you come into the chat to play games, we will play with your access. You will not be able to do that anymore. We will take it away, and you will not be able to do it anymore. We have to, we don't have time for tomfoolery. So Patricia, we've had quite the episode. It's been raining at your end. For me here,
finally calming down a little.
Yeah. So it's going to be windy, possibly rainy tomorrow night here as well. So I guess that weather front is traveling up north, and we're going to be having a piece of it tomorrow. So it's going to take a day to reach us. So that's fine. So those of you who are watching, thank you for hanging around. I wish we could have had Tony on, because that would have kind of given some depth or breadth to the story coming from Australia. We lined it up because we expected that Tony was going to be in, and we would be able to to actually talk about that take on the tragedy that took place at Bondi Beach. This afternoon, we covered the story of the 7. We didn't know the count of the people who were on their way to Bondi Beach when we covered it this afternoon. But this evening, we got the count, and it was 7 men.
They actually showed one of the Australian police officers crashed his vehicle into the one with 5 members that they arrested in it. And then there was a separate incident where they arrested 2 more. So a total of 7.
Yeah. So that happened.
That was awesome.
Well, I didn't get to that point of the video, so maybe I'll go back and watch it.
They tied their hands behind them and set them down cross-legged on the sidewalk, facing a building wall. Not their backs against the wall, but their faces facing the wall, like they were truant children that needed to be put in the corner.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, they were all on timeout. They were all on timeout. Let me
watching that, and I was going, why are they facing the wall?
I think I have that video. I'm going to share my screen and share that video. This is You know,
I just, it just hit me as odd that they were facing the wall.
well, they're all on timeout. You don't live in a civilized society and decide that the thing that you're going to bring to the society is chaos and carnage. It just makes no sense. Okay, the civilization that we've
There they are.
oh
So
there
now they're all facing the wall.
yeah, okay, I need to do something about this screen share. Hang on, I need to do something about this screen share. This is not good. There it is. Okay, so let me zoom in. Yeah, there it is.
Yep,
So they're all on timeout facing the wall.
facing the wall.
Yeah. So you don't get to come into a civilized society, act like barbarians, and expect us to be happy that you're doing that. There are going to be people, saying that this is wrong, that this is a racist thing to do, that they were profiled, and so on. I don't yet have information on whether there were weapons found in their vehicles.
There wasn't any mention of that.
Yeah, so for me, it's like, yeah. I mean, it sounds great that they said they stopped something that could potentially have happened, but I would like to see more evidence because it's things like this, and I need you to follow me, okay? It's things like this that gets used against any further enforcement against more attacks on Jews and Christians. Because if in the end, it's like what happened with the situation with 9/11 and people who were connected to Al Qaeda, people who may have been adjacent to Al Qaeda, were arrested, detained, and taken to Guantanamo Bay. And then suddenly it becomes a question of, are you violating their fundamental human rights? And then there's questions being asked about whether they went through due process and whether they were treated humanely. And then it continues to cascade to the point where today we start hearing the term Islamophobia. Islamophobia was never a word that existed.
No.
It didn't even exist after 9/11. It only came to the fore after Guantanamo Bay, because people had license to keep asking questions about whether there was due process, whether this was being done properly. And all it takes is one case that wasn't carried out properly, and then it can be used as a cudgel to say every other case had the smell of Islamophobia or racism or whatever it is that they want it to say. So if they got this wrong, it could become another reason why the Australian government won't do the job that they should be doing with protecting their citizens. They would always say, well, we have to be careful to make sure that we're not being Islamophobic, or we're not profiling people, or we're not doing this or the other. So I do hope they have evidence and that they got this right. That's basically what I'm saying. But Patricia, I said something, and while I was saying it, I was at the back of my mind, I was saying to myself, I hope I'm getting this narrative correct. The bit about Islamophobia not being something that was an issue until after Guantanamo Bay. I mean,
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That's when it happened. They wanted to free all the Muslims. Turn them loose. Bring them to America and let them stand trial in court so we can find them not guilty.
And then integrate them into your society.
Yeah. But prisoners of war are not the same as criminals arrested on a street in a city.
Yeah.
And the ones that they were bringing back were the ones on the FBI's wall that took over Most Wanted.
Mm.
And And it floored me that they thought that we should be kinder to the very people who made it possible for those planes to be flown into buildings and into the ground. There was more planes that could have been hijacked that day.
Yeah.
There was like 12 different people that could have took over the flight of 12 other planes that were grounded when the planes hit the buildings.
Yeah.
Those planes didn't get off the ground, and they couldn't pull their fast heist in the middle of the air to take them.
Mm.
And it floored me that they thought that, oh, well, we'll be okay now. No, that was shattered. That was totally destroyed. And we know now that, yes, we have terrorists inside of America.
Mm.
There are groups of them. They're marching in the streets with the people saying, "Free Palestine." They're in places that they're plotting different things. They're building bombs out in the desert.
Yeah.
They think nobody's paying attention to them. They don't realize how much the military depends on those desert areas. Is anybody there so we can fire off some shells? So then they scan the satellite and, oh, what's these dudes doing? And I mean, people are just, I don't know. When did we get so stupid?
Well,
that, you can invite the fox into the hen house and he won't eat the chickens.
Yeah.
It just amazes me. Death to America. We heard them chant it.
They say that, and then you have the politicians and the left-wing media saying, well, they don't really mean death to America. They're being hyperbolic.
Yeah. That's why they don't kill Americans. They don't mean death to America. They're not killing Americans.
Oh, look, they're burning the flag while shouting death to America and Allahu Akbar. Well, it's a freedom of speech issue.
Yeah.
They're allowed to burn the flag because it's allowed under the First Amendment. It's like seriously?
I have to say, one guy in Portland, Oregon, that there was a group of them that was trying to burn an American flag, and he took
grabbed
it
it
away from them and put it out, and now he carries that flag everywhere.
Nick Sauter.
With the burn marks on it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. He showed it to President Trump when they had the roundtable at the White House. You remember that the city of Portland arrested him after he was attacked by the Antifa militants, and they charged him. They tried to charge him with something because they didn't even know what to charge him with.
And they did not arrest the Antifa people that attacked him.
No, they didn't. They let them go, and essentially they couldn't find them. It was like they let them go and then tracked him down and arrested him.
The only one that didn't have his face covered.
Yeah. It's shocking to watch the dismantling of the United States from within.
When people see this, do you want to take your family on vacation to that state?
No.
Do you want to put your family at risk going there? No.
So, Patricia, you know that I have family in the United States. My father lives in the United States. I have brothers who live in the United States. And I had the option of, I had the, I'm sorry?
I hope they're not New York or Chicago.
New York, Virginia, and Maryland.
Oh.
All blue. Okay, is Virginia blue? I think it's still kind of red.
Blue.
All right, so there we go. So all blue states. And I said to myself when we were deciding on which country to move the kids to, I told my wife, I've been watching the United States. I have no desire to live in the United States. I love the United States, but crazy things are happening because I looked at New York.
Come on down to Somerset, Kentucky. We got a lake down here that's over 100 miles long. Beautiful green hills, good schools, friendly
I'll take you up on that. I will take you up on that. Lots of Canadians like to go to Florida, but I think I'll break the mold and go to Kentucky instead. I need somewhere. Look, if I'm going to move to the United States, I'm going to move to Kentucky, Tennessee. I'm going to look for the deep red states.
Tennessee is absolutely gorgeous. Tennessee is another beautiful state here. We got green mountains, not bare rocky mountains. They're green. They got trees all the way to the top.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
And they're just gorgeous.
Yeah. So if I ever decide that I want to move to the States, it has to be a deep red state. Not a a state that is kind of purple but still has strong Republican. No, I'm going to find the reddest state I can find, and I'm going to just move there because
people have moved to Tennessee. Marsha Blackburn, she is a representative of Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, she's an awesome lady.
Yeah.
And people around here just won't put up with the bologna sausage.
Yeah.
They just, if somebody starts their little rants and raves or their Antifa thing, they're looking at them saying, really? You're going to
Do you know where you are?
No, we don't do that here.
Yeah.
No. But we have been known to put our crazy family members out on the front porch with a glass of sweet tea. That's where you park them, on the front porch with the glass of sweet tea.
No. All right. We've covered all the stories that we plan to cover, and we will be back tomorrow, same time tomorrow. Noon Eastern. We're going to be doing this and talking about everything happening. Look, part of the reason why a lot of this stuff gets ignored or people don't know when it's happening is because, we talked about it before the show started. Some of the stories that we talk about, the mainstream media won't cover it. Fox News wouldn't talk about these things. MSNBC, CNN definitely won't talk about them. And we try to talk about things or issues that are at the grassroots and try to make sense of them. Yes, they are conservative in nature. Yes, these are things that most people are thinking and arguing about and fighting over. But we try to do this in a common sense way to just simply say, this is what's happened in history that led us to this point. Here's what it's done so far. And here's why it makes sense or why it doesn't make sense. Animal sacrifice in the United States of America makes zero sense. Okay? It isn't part of the American fabric. It isn't part of what made America the greatest country on the planet. So why are you bringing heathen, dark, practices from third world countries that they've done for generations that hasn't saved their countries. Why are you doing that?
I can't. I mean, the animal sacrifice thing. Come on, PETA. Where the hey are you? You tried to blow up ships and stuff, fishing ships. You broke in the labs and turned animals loose. Where the hey are you when they're going to absolutely slaughter animals?
What I think is they will not get involved because most of their donors would pull funding if they went anywhere near this.
They need to just, I mean, that's sick. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that is sick. I mean, if you ask a psychiatrist, what's the beginning that sends somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer into killing people, they'll tell you cruelty to animals.
Yeah.
They started out killing defenseless creatures just for the pure sake of killing them.
Yeah.
And it's cruel how they do that on the sacrifices. They're not one bit humane about it.
So, do you know, I'm tempted to play that video that couldn't play because we didn't hear the story. I feel like we should go back and try to play it. We made assumptions and we didn't hear the story. So I feel like we need to go back and play it. So I'm going to look for that video. Just give me a moment. I think we should explore that video. 1 second. I think we should play the video because we need to understand the rationale, why they think, because we just saw a bunch of people with beards, and we felt that this could have been the purpose that they were given, but I don't think that's enough. So let me find that. Let's see.
Do Muslims make animal sacrifice?
Some people consider there's a holiday. One of their Eid holidays is in commemoration of the sacrifice of Isa, which is Isaac. Okay, where Abraham attempted to sacrifice Isaac, and the holiday is meant to be a reenactment of that sacrifice. So they buy rams. So each family is ordered to buy a ram and to slaughter the ram on the day of the holiday. And then they use the ram to prepare meals and share and distribute the flesh to their neighbors and so on. So
I thought
there's
it was sacrilegious to eat sacrificed animals in the Bible.
Well, it is. You mean in the Bible or in the Quran?
Well, in the Bible.
Animals sacrificed to idols. I think that there's something said about that in the New Testament, the writings of Paul. So let's read the story. Okay, so we've got the video. Where is the video? Ham track. There you are. All right. So we have the video. Let's
According to the ordinance, quote, the owning, keeping, or harboring of pigs, horses, cows, sheep, goats, llamas, domestic fowl, outdoor rabbits is prohibited, and this section does not apply for temporary religious sacrificial purposes as permitted by law.
Our city is dirty enough.
We don't want to make more dirty.
Debates raged on for at least 3 hours at Hamtramck City Hall over the new ordinance of sacrificing animals.
Really ridiculous, catastrophic resolution.
If it's not passed, then we are ready to take it to the court for the religious rights, because it is constitution.
This was the second debate of the new ordinance, and there was a crowd outside of the City Hall chambers filling out cards to speak, and they were watching it on closed-circuit TV.
No, it's not safe or sane or humane because basements or kitchens or backyards are not suitable places for live animal slaughter.
Many people, including Muslim residents, were against it, citing sanitary concerns if the animals are sacrificed in a home and not in a sterile environment, especially in the tight-knit neighborhoods of Hamtramck. The ordinance that was passed on Tuesday night says religious sacrificing of animals can be done as long as it is done legally and humanely.
I think it's the best compromise. We don't want to restrict religious freedoms, and we don't want to keep it random without regulations.
Many Muslims pay a butcher to perform the religious sacrifice, but for some families, it's just not practical, says Nawar Ali with CARE Michigan.
A lot of families will typically do it in the confines of their property, like in their backyard, their garage, and again, dispose of the animal accordingly.
And we do have that full ordinance up on our website, wxyz.com, in case you want to take a look at it. Reporting in Hamtramck this morning, I'm Peter Maxwell, 7 Action News.
All right, something tells me, Peter, that we have not heard the last of this fight. Thank you so much for that report.
Let
Okay.
me ask you something.
So,
what's next?
yes,
Honor killing? Is that what's
it's
next?
coming.
Honor
No,
killing?
it's coming. Well, you know that they can't do that in a secular setting, and that's why they need these Islamic cities to be able to institute Sharia and make it okay for those things to happen. Now, if you're watching, does honor killing happen in cities in the UK and in Europe where Sharia is being enforced? Are honor killings overlooked in those cities? Okay, let's know in the chat or in the comment section.
Happened in Michigan.
It did. It did. Really.
A man killed his daughter.
What was that? The story where a man told his sons to drown his daughter?
No, he shot and killed his daughter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay, so we had to go back in to take a look at this story because this story, we didn't give it the coverage because that it deserved because we couldn't hear the audio of this video. So now we've heard it. It turns out that the focus essentially has been Muslims who want to do the sacrificial rites of the holiday I mentioned. And so far in the United States, they've been paying a butcher to do it for them. And it's interesting how you have the argument that not allowing them to do these barbaric practices in the United States is a religious freedoms issue.
Religious freedom exists until you do harm to others.
Yeah.
There is that. And then we start calling it a cult.
Yeah.
Because
all right.
You do harm to others.
Yeah.
And that should
okay.
end with animals.
It should end with animals. It just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And you know what? The more we dig into the rabbit hole, the more we're going to find things that we're like, why are we having this conversation at all?
To turn our country more like the country they fled.
Exactly.
That's it, bottom line.
And then when you and I point and say, look, this is what we're talking about. We shouldn't be doing things like this. they say, why are you being so negative about the way someone chooses to worship? You're being a bigot.
So what? Call me bigot. We're not doing that in America. You want to do that kind of thing, go back to where you came from.
Yeah.
Evidently, you are missing that place way too much.
So why don't you just move?
Yep. Get out.
Yeah, just move. Go where you came from. It's really that
The
simple.
people that were complaining about that are right. If a bunch of people are killing animals in their house,
Yeah.
then there is the chance of disease coming from that. That's why we have butchers.
Yeah.
When you don't do that in a contained place designed for that specific purpose, what do you do with the hides,
Yeah.
the bones?
Yeah.
Where are you putting that stuff?
Yeah.
You're inside a city. You don't
And the
have
poop.
a barn to go hang it up in.
Yeah. These are valid concerns. I was listening to an elderly person from Texas one time, and he was recounting an incident that took place in the 1930s, I think, or 40s, where he stopped over to say hi to someone, and the person was feeding his cow on his lot, and he said that was the time when they allowed you to keep cows on your property, but now the city doesn't let you do that anymore. You know, that used to be a thing. Okay, but because of health reasons, you know, you had disease epidemics, you had hygiene issues, you had smells. You know, just imagine, like, I have a nice sizable backyard. It's not huge, but it's about the same plot size as my house. I could decide to fence off the backyard and get myself some cows or horses, but I can't do that because the HOA here is going to throw a fit because the smell of the cow poop or the horse poop is going to ruin the neighborhood. You know, just that alone. So sometimes they have these conversations, and it's almost like people are desperate to degrade the quality of life in the West, to return it to what it to the state of the countries they fled from. You know, it's just it's crazy to watch. All right, this is the final close. Let's just say good night because we kind of restarted the conversation on this topic, but we had to because we didn't play the video or hear the story properly. So we had to give it a fair shake because I don't think we're coming back to this unless something huge happens in Hamtramck, and then we have to cover it. So we're going to be back tomorrow. Patricia, what do you have to say to the audience?
Y'all have a great night. Keep your chin up. Don't back down from nothing. Stand your ground. Stand your ground because that's what it's going to take. Not in my community, not in my state, not in my country.
Yeah.
We own it.
We the people.
We're not going to give it away.
Yeah.
We're not going to.
Totally agree. Totally agree. All right, guys. We're going to be back tomorrow at noon Eastern. Hope to see you soon. And remember that your voice is important. So learn to leave your thoughts in the comment section or in the chat. Let's know what you're thinking concerning the stories that we're covering. Let's have that conversation and don't back down, just like Patricia says. So until tomorrow, stay safe. God bless you. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Welcome to Headlines and History, live news reactions and your views. We're about to go live soon, so grab your spot and get ready for a sharp, balanced take on today's biggest news stories with a dash of historical insight. Stay tuned. Each week, we tackle the headlines that matter: politics, economics, global events with a balanced lens. We'll react live, tie today's stories to historical moments, and spotlight your views in the chat. From trade talks echoing the 1990s to crises recalling 2008, we're here to unpack it all. Your voice drives the show. Share your thoughts or historical parallels in the live chat, and we'll dive into the best ones. It's news, context, and community all in 1 hour. We're moments away from launching Headlines and History. Stick around for live reactions, historical nuggets, and your chance to chime in. Hit the notification bell, prep your comments, and let's make sense of the news together. See you soon.